What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Real Talk with Jay and Jay. Guys, we're so excited again to be here with you, talking about another thing that has been huge in our life and that we've learned over these,
couple years.
Yeah, these last few years that, we've been together, but also throughout our, own experiences in life. Again, we love to thank you guys so much for participating, for watching these videos, for liking, subscribing, commenting, all the social media things. We really appreciate your feedback. Yeah, it's really nice when we talk about something and then you guys reach out and say, hey, we really liked how you said this, or hey, this made me think about something, or I would love to hear more about this. We love all of that, so please continue to do that.
We see you, we hear you.
Yes, last week we talked about, last time that we did this, 2 weeks ago, we talked about mentorship, and that's more of like someone that's older than you, that's been there. This time we're talking about accountability, which can also come from peers, but also is a part of, when you have a mentor and stuff like that in your life. And this is something that is super important. And we kind of want to dive right into, talking about some things that we've learned about accountability.
Yeah. So I think we talk about this a lot, but it's so important and you can use this at different aspects in your life. And I think we want to start with accountability. It recognizes your humanity.
Yeah.
Like you have to know that you are human, right? Mm-hmm. That you're not perfect, that you are going to mess up sometimes. But when you partner with someone to keep you accountable, it helps you hey, I know this is what your goal was, but hey, you fell short and that's okay. I'm going to be here to encourage you and pick you right back up. Let's keep going. Let's keep doing this.
It's easier to do things in community, but yeah, at some level, we're not always going to hit the mark. Newsflash, some of you out there may think you're going to be perfect. It's not going to happen. There's going to be times you are going to mess up.
Yeah, for sure.
There's going to be things that are going to be hard for you to do, but when you really take time to be accountable, it recognizes that you're human, that you're going to make mistakes sometimes, and that you are accountable to others, and that you've given them that, responsibility or role in your life to help you be accountable to the things you said you're going to do.
Yeah. And also too, that you recognize that you're human. Give yourself grace.
Yeah.
That you, like you said, you're going to mess up. You're not perfect. So when you do mess up, give yourself grace and
then have the wisdom to put, that in place.
It's okay to get back up, finish what you started. Don't quit because you messed up, or don't stop because you're messed up.
And accountability should never be a thing of where it's shameful or where it's you're awful or you can't do
this. Don't condemn that person for messing up.
Sometimes you might mess up 1,000 times. Yeah. What is it? I remember we used to hear that in school, Thomas Edison took him 1,000 times to create a light bulb or something like that, and finally got it on the whatever time he got it. But sometimes accountability is, hey, I know this is your goal, and hey, you didn't get it, but let's keep going. Let's keep striving for that. It's not about, oh, you messed up, so you're awful. It's about,
you're cut out of our team. You can't hang out with us.
It's about, hey, here's the standard that we're striving for. Here's the things, whether it's whether it's relationship wise, whether it's health wise. I'm in an accountability group for fitness. I've seen over.
Just like he said, it doesn't just have to be one person. Joshua is my life accountability partner, but I have, like you said, different goals of work, my work peers, working out,
her friends,
eating, just a whole bunch of different things of we're going to concerts. Hey, make sure that we're getting a concert every quarter, or I don't know, okay, something fun.
Every quarter.
Your fun accountability partner, making sure that we're doing things having fun in life. No,
and so it's so important that we have that, because it really helps us evaluate our goals, but it encourages us. It recognizes that we're not going to necessarily be able to do this on our own, and that's okay. That's why we have community.
We're not supposed to do this life on our own.
Yeah, and it's okay to mess up and have people that say, hey, it's fine, get back up, keep going. It recognizes your humanity, and it has grace for your humanity, but it also puts in boundaries to help you, navigate your humanity and get to a better version of yourself.
And I think another thing that we learned through this too, it also requires humility.
Yeah.
Build in that time. If you have a goal, know, like we said, you're human. You're not going to be perfect. So know that you are going to fail and be okay with like admitting that you're failing. You don't have to lie to your peers and say, oh, nope, I've been doing this. And like really behind doors, you're not actually doing it. Like if you are doing that,
what's the point of having accountability if you're lying?
Exactly. And then you are not going to show you're not going to see the results. So people are going to start questioning and be like, have you really been working out?
I mean, and I'll just be like, and also when someone does correct you, like say for instance, I say, hey, be my accountability partner. And then someone goes, hey bro, like, have you been working out? Like, and I'll just be super honest for you. I mean, so like I'm in my fitness journey right now and trying to get back in shape. And so for a long time I would be like, oh yeah, I'm working out. Like I'm doing all these things like that. And sometimes I would, but like when I didn't, I wouldn't necessarily say anything about it. Like, you know, like let's say for instance, my accountability goal is to work out 3 times a week and to, you know, eat a certain thing. Well, I might work out 2 times. And when I was there, I'd be like, oh yeah, look at me killing it in the gym. But the third time I didn't go, I'd be like, I'm not going to send anything about how I did it.
I forgot to take a picture.
Oh yeah, I forgot to take a picture. Totally did that today. And it's easy because you almost make accountability about people pleasing versus I'm doing this so I can become a better version of myself. And if you really want that to be the case, you have to be honest, because at the end of the day, eventually your fruit is going to show, whether it's now or later. And do you want to be authentically good at what you're doing? Or do you want to be authentically healthy? Or do you want to be authentically financially stable? Or do you want to have this facade of doing those things because you lied about it along the way? So, woof.
I don't know.
It just came out of nowhere.
And that was just like spin facts right there. Like his little Bostonian came out of that because it was like super fast that I had to make sure I was listening clearly. You might have to pause it and rewind it. On
half speed there. I know.
We got to go on 0.5 on that thing.
No, but yeah.
I'm sorry.
I don't know why you're just making so. Like, that was a little excessive.
That was funny. Okay, go back. But yeah, that so much truth in that, Joshua, and like I think that's very important. And also, there's a scripture that is in James, I think James 4:6, that says God opposes the proud but gives grace to the humble. And that's very true. Like
there's grace when you are humble. Like no one wants to deal with somebody who is just super prideful. Like I'm the best thing ever. And always in your face.
It's a big turn off. It's almost, honestly.
You almost like, and this is so wrong and I don't wish this on it, but sometimes you want to see them fail because you're like, you deserve what's coming, you know, like you are so prideful, stuff like that. And that's how we feel. But if you're humble and you're honest, like, hey guys, like honestly, I didn't work out today. It's much easier if I'm being your accountability partner to be like, hey, that's okay. Just get back at it tomorrow. Or, hey, you know, you still got time left in the day. Go get it. Versus, hey guys, I've been working out and like, I've been killing it. And I don't know, like, I'm just so good at what I'm doing. But then I see you on Sundays or I see you whenever I see you. And I'm like, I don't know if that's actually happening. And like, you're over here hating on everybody else. But like, I don't know, like, again, this is just our personal perspective and things that we've learned, but it's so much easier. It's so much easier to have grace when somebody is being humble. Not that we shouldn't have grace in all circumstances, but you know, when there is humility, it's really easier to be authentic there.
For sure. And then also we've learned that it also provides support. It's like a big support group for whatever you're striving for, right? And let's say it like let's talk about your group. A group of guys that are encouraging each other, that have the same goal, and like you're in different like
stages.
There we go. I was gonna say seasons, but stages in your all's fitness goal and fitness journey. And I think that's the coolest part, because I think if y'all are all the same, it's like more of a competition. But like now that this is more of encouraging to each other, and like you see the different stages that you are and you're striving to be better for each other.
It also just feels like you're not in this alone when you have accountability. Like whether it's being a good husband or being a good man or being fit, yes, but also financial wise, like, you know, talking about our credit scores. I'm like, hey guys, our goal is to get here in our financial health. Here's where we're trying to be. Here's what we're trying to do. And then having people support you to like keep moving in the right direction. Hey, you know,
I think it's weird how like we don't know a lot of people who do this, but there are some people in this world like who are doing a good thing and like are doing great in life, but don't want to share what they're doing because they don't want to see other people succeed or don't want other people to be better than them. And I think what I like that we do is like, if we learn something that is like helping us, like let's say we got a credit card for mileages and stuff, and like we are getting a lot of money to go travel, like we want to tell all our friends like, hey, this is what we're doing and we're getting a lot of miles and we're flying for free. Like you guys should do this. Like, and it's
sharing that knowledge and having, but then also our friends sharing that with us of like, yo, like I did this, I thought of this is a great idea. You guys should incorporate this into your life and and then all being accountable to each other. Like, we want to be responsible with how we're making decisions. We want to be responsible in what we're doing. We want to be good stewards of our money. We want to be good stewards of our health. Like
when we encourage our friends to get a credit card, we don't say use
go max it out.
Go max it out. No. We're like making sure like, hey, like make sure by the end of the month we like to be down at 15%. The max is minimum. So make sure you're not going over that 30%. Like we're keeping each other accountable, and like when we find out
pay
good
things
ideas
off quickly. Don't just carry a ton of balances. Don't spend the max of your credit card. Like, sometimes you have a bigger purchase that you might put on a credit card that might, push up your limit. But like, I don't know, there's just so many things to think about. And when you're accountable to other people, you guys can all work through those things together. You guys can all keep each other in check, and you all have the humility to be like, when I do get checked, I'm not going to just lash out and be defensive or, I don't know. It's so important.
But then also too, you have like a group to celebrate each other too. Like when you achieve your goals, you have those people, that group to celebrate you. And like, sometimes if you're doing it on your own, you're like, oh, well, I achieved this. It's not that big of a deal. But when you have other people who care for you and see that you achieve it, you see the recognition that they give you. And like, I don't know. I think it's good for you to get some celebration in your life.
Yeah.
Like it's nice to hear other people like congratulate you, and like when you don't really think it's a big deal, but someone's like making it a big deal. Like that's
and
great.
Accountability, like what Jasmine said, that's so good, is accountability doesn't just have to be negative things. Like when you didn't do something, it's like, hey, when you did do something, I'm also going to be like, wow, I'm keeping you accountable. Like you did what you said you're going to do.
Yeah.
We're going to celebrate you now. And I think like the Bible says, in Proverbs, it talks about iron sharpens iron. So we sharpen each other. Yeah. When we're accountable, we sharpen each other. We make each other stronger.
We make each other better.
And this is to get a little bit deeper, but there's also, a passage in James where it talks about like when you confess your sins one to another and when you pray for each other, like there's healing that happens. Sometimes when we are accountable to others, and this is not just being accountable about, fitness goals, maybe it is, but sometimes being accountable about, hey, what am I watching? What am I doing? How am I doing in my relationship? How am I treating my wife correctly? How am I being a man of integrity? How am I being a person of great character? In those moments, sometimes when you're accountable and real with where you're at and people can build you up, you actually have healing from past trauma, from past hurts, from things in your life where people treated you wrong. And having that framework is so important. It's so necessary for us because it allows us to thrive. It allows us to be the best version of ourselves. And that's what we want to do when we're in this life.
Yeah. And I think one of my favorite things that we've gotten to do is like serving in students and all these things is like having students come to us and like this and tell us like, this is what God is telling me and this is what I'm going to start doing. Can you help me be accountable to keep doing what God has told me to do? And I think it's very important for us to, like we said, know that they're human, know that they're going to mess up. So when they do mess up, like just keep encouraging them, but encourage them in love. Don't allow them to keep messing up, like try to like.
And even correction is okay. Like it's okay to correct somebody. It's not, you don't want to degrade somebody. You don't want to like over hone the point, but sometimes like, hey, like,
and also don't be their parent. Like they don't need they're not asking you to be their parent. They're asking you to be their accountability partner. Right?
Yeah.
They already have parents.
They already have people in their life that might, be telling them all those things. It's so important that to like, hey, I understand where you're at. I understand what you're striving for. I understand that you're going to be human and you're going to mess up sometimes. I understand that you have the humility to allow me into this journey with you. Sometimes I'm going to, correct and be like, hey, I noticed this. I just want to get your perspective. I want to talk to you about this. I want to make sure that we're doing what we said we're going to do. I've had in my life, people correct me, and sometimes it's super hard. I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to pretend this is super easy when someone says something to your life and it's true. And you're like, I don't really want to listen to what they're saying. But when the way they say it and the way they care about me and the way that they see it through, they're like, hey, Josh, we talked about this in March of last year. And I know you said this, and I noticed that you haven't been doing that. Hey, that's sometimes a hard conversation to have or an uncomfortable conversation to have, but it's what we do need to talk about. And that's where it causes us to be like, what did I say I was going to do?
Yeah.
Am I being a person of my word? Am I prioritizing things correctly? Do I have things out of line? Sometimes we make plans and we set a goal, and then over time our things get out of alignment.
Life happens.
And accountability can help us be like, let's put them back into alignment.
Yeah.
Let us get us back on the right track here. But again, that requires recognizing that you're going to be human. You're going to mess up. Have grace. Be humble. Like sometimes you're going to mess up, and you need to have humility to recognize when you do.
I'm sorry. I was just going to pull a Kendrick Lamar and say, sit down. Be humble.
You're just going out here like, sit down and be humble. Maybe that's what you need to do. I don't know. I don't know where you're at in your journey, but yeah. And then it just allows us when we're accountable, when we do succeed, when we do the things that we say we're going to do, it helps us, be proud of those moments.
Yeah. For sure. And then I know we're talking about like accountability partners and stuff, but there's also a way to keep yourself accountable. And it's like journaling, writing these goals down. Like you can look at it, go past and be like, this is what I wrote down. Am I actually doing this? No, I'm not doing this. Like that's a way to help yourself be accountable too.
Yeah. Because a lot of times if you think it in your head, like let's say for instance, I think in my head, I want to do this. Well, if I never say it, if I never write it down, like who really?
Did I actually
knew?
really want to do it?
Who really knew? Who like really realistically, I could.
Or
say
if you
whatever.
didn't tell anyone.
Yeah, so I think it's like, yeah, it is important to be self accountable and then to be accountable to others. And when you mix those two together, you start to see some real flourishing that can happen in your life and throughout circumstances.
You're gonna see some wins, some W's,
some W's, and you want to see
life.
those W's in your life. Less L's, more W's. That's what we're going for over here. And I think like over time. In my life personally, the times that I've struggled, the times that have been harder is when I've had zero accountability, when I've been trying to do everything on myself. I've been failing by myself. I'm not doing what I want to do by myself. But then I started getting people in my life accountability, and maybe I would still fail sometimes, but at least I was failing and someone else knew about it and they were able to help pick me up instead of me always having to pick myself up.
Yeah.
They were able to help pick me up and they were able to encourage me to be better because they knew the potential that was in me. And over time, I've been able to see growth in a lot of areas, and there's still areas that I need to grow in. There's still areas that, I may struggle with, but the growth that happens over time that helps move is a big part of it is the accountability that, Jasmine and I both have in our life as we're doing these things.
So like we said, like we discussed all these things because this is what's been important in our lives and we see value in this. So we want you to be able to see value in this as well. So you can be someone's accountability partner. So we encourage you to do that and then also seek people who can keep you accountable too. Like we're not just doing this just to throw out content or whatever.
Yeah.
Like we value this. So
we want you to implement this stuff into your life.
We want you guys to do this. So we encourage you to go out, do this, and we
examine yourself. Are you being real with yourself about your humanity? Are you realistic with your expectations of yourself? Are you humble in recognizing that you're going to fail sometimes and that when people correct you, you're able to take that? And do you have accountability partners? Are you somebody's accountability partner? Are you writing things down? Are you journaling? Yeah. Take some of these things, whatever might apply to your life, and start to implement them and see, what you might find in those areas, and then tell us about it. We love to hear from you guys. About when you hear these topics, when you learn something,
hit us up.
We want to hear from you guys. Yeah, hit us up. Like she's wilding over here right now. So
okay, we love you so much, guys, and we are just having so much fun.
Yes.
Like I don't know if you can see it through the camera, but honestly, we are having so much fun
we're having
this
a great
season.
Time. Yes.
And we can't wait for you to see all these things.
Yes, we're so excited to share this with you. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, share all the social media things. We love you guys. We'll see you next time.
Bye. Love you.